Here's more wrestling news for October 20th, 2022, and we're starting off with AEW. And if you've been watching the product as of late, you'll have noticed a subtle change to MJF's character, as he isn't quite the cocky heel fans loved to hate. MJF has even said that he hates knowing that he's a bad guy, leading some to speculate that the Salt of the Earth could be on the verge of a face turn. While MJF isn't exactly kissing babies and shaking hands, he's not the villain he once was, but a face turn is something he's vehemently against. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer reported that MJF has made it clear that he does not want to turn babyface, but added that, at some point, he's going to turn. Much like The Rock, MJF has proven to be too fun of a character as a heel for fans to boo, so it seems like a face turn is out of his hands. At Full Gear, MJF will challenge Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship, and if he dethrones arguably the promotion's most popular star, expect plenty of fans to cheer for the self-professed devil of the company. Since returning to WWE in 2018, Bobby Lashley has been on the roll of his career, from beating Brock Lesnar to being a two-time WWE champion. Lashley's last two WrestleMania appearances saw him retain the WWE title against Drew McIntyre and topple the colossal Omos, but he has an even bigger star in his sights. In an interview with Rainmaker NYC, Lashley addressed his future in WWE, and while he wouldn't mind a Lesnar match at WrestleMania, he's also not opposed to facing The Rock. There's always some big names in the business, and no matter what, this is not my matchup, but The Rock is always a huge, iconic figure. I think there's other people that are more in line. Brock is always a big one, but this scene is always there. For me, it's always the big matches. Everybody wants a good match. While The Rock's movie schedule is suspiciously free for the first quarter of 2023, leading many to believe he is competing at WrestleMania 39, the reported plan is for the People's Champion to face his cousin Roman Reigns. As for Lashley, his next match will be at Crown Jewel when he takes on Brock Lesnar, and win, lose, or draw, expect plenty more huge contests for the almighty of WWE. Crown Jewel 2022 will be WWE's next big Saudi show, but the company has had a strange time with the Middle Eastern Kingdom. After Crown Jewel 2019, over 200 WWE personnel were detained over what WWE claimed was a mechanical issue, but many believed was due to conflict between Vince McMahon and the Saudi royals. The claim goes that McMahon cut the feed in Saudi Arabia during the show, as the royal family had not paid him the millions he was owed for the show, and that detaining the roster was payback for the family. At the time, Karl Anderson's wife was very critical of WWE and their deal, saying she had no idea what was happening to her husband, and during the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer explained that her husband got heat for that. Saudi Arabia. They were on that trip where they, got held hostage, and Karl got in trouble because it was, can you imagine, this is total WWE, right? They were held hostage, so Karl's wife is concerned and trying to find word, and so she goes on Twitter and she's going like, what's going on? And complaining, as you would think that she would do when her husband's being held hostage in Saudi Arabia and can't come home, and getting no answers or anything. Then they come back and everyone's called into a meeting, and Karl gets yelled at because of what his wife did. At the time, it was reported that WWE's own talent didn't buy the mechanical issues story, and because so many stars were detained, this caused WWE to replace much of the following SmackDown show with NXT talent. At Crown Jewel, Anderson will team with Luke Gallows and AJ Styles to take on the Judgment Day, and we're sure everyone is hoping that a similar hostage situation isn't repeated. As soon as Triple H took over as head of talent relations, the game wasted no time in bringing released superstars back, including Karrion Kross, Hit Row, Braun Strowman, and more. From all accounts, WWE and Triple H have no plans to ease up on bringing back former superstars, and there's plenty to choose from. For years, Juice Robinson wrestled in WWE as CJ Parker, and when asked by Inside the Ropes about a return, said to never say never in wrestling. With that said, Robinson admitted that his life is going in a different direction right now, and a successful one at that, and doubts that he is the kind of person WWE is interested in. Robinson, a three-time IWGP United States champion, said that WWE is cool, but he isn't interested at all in what WWE think of him. After his April 3, 2015 release, Robinson has competed for New Japan, CZW, CMLL, and other promotions, proving it is possible to be a success after WWE. More from AEW, as the likes of CM Punk, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks haven't been seen on TV in close to 2 months, but that's not for lack of trying by some suspended wrestlers. As we've reported, Ace Steel is gone from AEW after being fired earlier this week, but those who have been suspended could be eyeing up a return. In a new report from Fightful, it's noted that those involved with the fight at All Out have been communicating more with AEW recently, but the exact context is unclear at this time. The belief is that the likes of Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks have spoken about coming back to AEW TV, especially now that Steel has been fired from the promotion. As for CM Punk, his situation with AEW is still unclear, as all signs so far have pointed to him being the one who instigated the fight. Right now, the suspensions in AEW are indefinite, and there's no date we should expect these stars back, so we'll have to keep waiting to see who returns to TV and who joins Ace Steel in the unemployment line. For countless wrestlers, the idea of being the best out there is a huge motivator, and we've seen plenty of stars claim to be just that. From CM Punk's best in the world to Bret Hart's best there is, best there was, and best there ever will be, there's no shortage of motivated wrestlers, but William Regal isn't too sure being the best is all it's cracked up to be. Regal, considered by many to be the best British wrestler to make it stateside, spoke to the Metro UK newspaper this week and addressed the pressures of being number one. Regal explained that the desire to be better than everyone has put some of my friends in the grave, and that many wrestlers put too much pressure on wanting to reach a level they simply can't. The Blackpool Combat Club member is aware that many wrestlers will scoff at his claims, but insists that the advice he's giving can save wrestlers from unnecessary mental stress. Ultimately, not every wrestler can reach the levels of The Rock, Hulk Hogan, and John Cena, and while ambition in wrestling is a good thing, too much of a good thing can be fatal. When Bobby Lashley left WWE in 2008, fans were surprised to see him go, as he had been one of the company's most promising young stars. Just a year before his departure, Lashley was feuding with Mr. McMahon himself and had been challenging for the WWE Championship against John Cena on pay-per-view. Over the years, the theory is that Lashley left because of money, but in an interview with Rainmaker NYC, said the claim was 100% not true. Instead, Lashley explained how he wanted to legitimize his character and himself, and therefore chose to leave to pursue a career in mixed martial arts. Lashley's MMA career saw him rack up 15 wins, 6 of which by knockout and only 2 losses, and he's also competed for Impact Wrestling in his time away, becoming a 4-time world champion. With a successful MMA career under his belt, Lashley returned to WWE in 2018 and is one of the company's most legitimate fighters, proving that his departure from the company in 2008 eventually paid off for the almighty superstar. Lashley has gone on to become one of WWE's very top superstars in recent years, but at 46 years old, he's also one of the oldest stars on the roster. Despite his age, Lashley doesn't appear to be slowing down, but like anyone, he knows that one day he'll have to retire. On the Not Sam Wrestling Show, Lashley said that he loves being a role model and wants to stay in the wrestling business for as long as he can, but he said that he'll hang up his boots when he feels he's slowing down in the ring. We've seen plenty of legends of the past come back for matches that have left fans underwhelmed, as The Undertaker, Goldberg, and Kurt Angle all had noticeably lost a step or two in recent matches, and Lashley won't let that happen to him. And we're ending today with Vince McMahon, who retired from WWE in July after a truly one-of-a-kind life in the business. McMahon's erratic behavior is the stuff of legend, but it isn't just the wrestlers on his roster that would get on the bad side of the former champion. Speaking to NBC's Steve Fall, Trevor Murdoch recalled a European tour and a fan asking Randy Orton to sign an autograph. Orton, who was so hurt he could barely tie his shoes, fulfilled the request, but when the fan asked him to sign even more, a request the Viper denied, causing the fan to cuss him out. Security were able to stop things getting heated, but the fan would later approach Orton and Murdoch would throw a punch, hitting the erratic fan in the face. Murdoch explained that a phone call came 30 minutes later and he, Lance Cade, and Randy Orton only barely avoided getting arrested. Fearing the worst, Murdoch flew back to the US, confident that he was going to lose his job, and he and Cade agreed to take the World Tag Team titles they held at the time with them. When nobody spoke to them at the following Raw taping, Cade and Murdoch took matters into their own hands and approached McMahon and explained the situation. After defending their actions, saying that they were protecting the then WWE champion, Vince took a long pause before uttering the phrase, "You know what, boys? It's good for the fans to get their asses kicked every once in a while." Assuring the two that their legal team would cover things, Murdoch would keep his job for years to come, and the current NWA World Champion will never forget dealing with Vince McMahon. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.